Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me to a new episode of Music with Nick. Today we're gonna do some reactions to a marathon that we got by Eric T. He sponsored it, so thank you so much, Eric, for this. I'm super excited because it's right up my alley. It's guitar players and drummers. Well, I'm not so much of a drummers guy, but I do appreciate, of course, any kind of great crazy drumming, especially if it's, you know, jazz or prog or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I saw some names that are a bit familiar, so I'm super excited. So thank you so much, Eric, for this wonderful marathon and just like putting it together. So let's go with the names. So I do know, for example, the first. Let's see here. The first musician is, give me 1 second. He put it here in this email. Of course, Max Ostro. I've seen him. He's like, oh my God, this guy. I mean, he looks still like a kid. I mean, I think I've been following him a couple of years when he was still, maybe, I don't know, he was like 13 or 14 or something like that, and he's just on a different level. Like, he went head first into jazz fusion, and he's literally on the level of, you know, Guthrie and stuff like that, and he plays anything by Paul Gilbert or Yngwie Malmsteen, or, I mean, that's how I kind of discovered him, when he was doing like Arpeggios from Hell by Yngwie Malmsteen and Racer X, Paul Gilbert stuff, you know, Scarified, and but he plays also like stuff like Greg Howe. He pretty much has like a really amazing style between shredding and a lot of jazz knowledge, but fusion knowledge, you know. So there's a lot of stuff from Guthrie in there, and Alan Holdsworth, and all the, you know, Greg Howe, and all the greats, you know, great fusion guitar players. So we're gonna watch him a bit, and then another one who's literally at the same level. I mean, it's just like, you can't compare them. They're just like already maestros, and they're barely in their 20s. It's the amazing Mateo Mancuso. We're gonna listen to him play drop D. This is just gonna be, Max is gonna be video, Mateo's gonna be audio. Then we're gonna do Mike Mangini drum solo from his Steve Vai tour. Mike Mangini is currently with Dream Theater since 2011, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna listen to him do a drum solo. Then we're gonna listen to Tony Royster Jr. This is some, it says crazy metronome practice. Awesome. That's literally the most important thing. If you, you know, play any sort of musical instrument, always practice with a metronome. Always, like literally, like I never, if I practice, if I'm studying scales or anything, always a metronome. You know, that's how you get your timing, you get your speed down, and clean. You know, you will see how clean Max Ostro and Mateo Mancuso play. And Mateo Mancuso is even crazier because he doesn't even use a pick. He literally plays flamenco style, but with an electric guitar. And then at the end, we're gonna listen to this is called, give me 1 second, Aquarian Reflector series. Get your Eric Moore on. Okay, so well, let's see about that. That's how the video is named, but those are the 5 videos or audios that we're gonna listen to. Okay, so give me just 1 moment. I'll be all right. And here we go with Max Ostro, and this is the song called Promenade. Now just check out his technique, the ability, just like the control, and already like the mastery he has over the instrument. Like, I've seen some stuff, but let's check out this. Yeah, crazy. I mean, just amazing. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this kid is literally already, I mean, I don't know how old he is now, maybe 20. He looks a little bit older on that picture. Oh, I took it off. But the guy is just like ridiculous. Like, I mean, did you see his, there's not even a slight amount of like effort. It's just in his blood, it's in his muscle memory. The legato is just off the charts, his picking is off the charts. His alternate picking is beautiful, his arpeggios, just the phrasing, is ridiculous. The bends, all those stops. There's so many little details that he puts into his music. It's just a pleasure to listen to this guy, and everything, he doesn't even look at the fretboard. It's like, it's just already in there. It's like, this guy's blessed that he started very, very, very young. And yeah, I hear a lot of Greg Howe. I hear a lot of funk, but the way he can just incorporate all this outside playing is just wonderful. And it never gets boring. He doesn't repeat himself. He's just interesting. He's fun to watch, and he's very I don't know if he does it on purpose. I think he does, because I've seen some other videos, and he's just very funny. He does like his shows like No Expression, and a lot of people are like kind of like turned off by that, but I think it's hilarious because he does it on purpose. It's like almost like he's not even playing. He's just like, he could be like, I don't know, watching a movie while he's doing all this. But of course, it's a little facade that he plays, and I love it. I think this guy's, I mean, literally on such an amazing level. Like, I can't even, that's why I have a problem with best guitar players, because when you see kids like this, I mean, literally I'm sorry, but there's nothing, there's just these other fusion players that you can compare him with. But rock players are basically like, what can you say? They're not on this level of playing. So okay, so enough about Max. Now we're gonna listen to another guy who's literally on the same path, on the same style of playing, which is Matteo Mancuso from Italy. And this guy is also ridiculously talented and gifted. So we're gonna play the song. I have it right here. It's called Drop D, and this is from also the album called Drop D. And this is, this is just a single, so 2023. Okay, so this is just one song he just released in 2023, and a single. So let's give it up for Matteo, and let's enjoy. 1, 2, and Beautiful. Wow. Wow, this guy, I mean, I love that he has a little bit of everything in there, and all is being played, with this, finger style, which is insane for me, I mean, I can play some fingerstyle on the classical guitar, but with the electric and doing all this and all these scales and beautiful, there were some really nice moments that reminded me, like Aldi Meola, which I'm sure I think they've played together. Actually, I think Aldi Meola called him out. He's like, "Hey, you're making us look bad," those older jazz fusion guys. Because I mean, the cool thing about this, being a guitar player as young as this guy. So I just looked him up. He's 26. Imagine being, you know, growing up 10 years ago. Maybe it started way younger, but let's say like usually people start, at 16, 17 to gain a real interest in, a craft or a hobby, and you really dedicate yourself. That's like the normal person, when you're more driven, maybe a little bit earlier, or you get inspired by someone like your older brother or your parents, then maybe you begin, with 7, or there's even some crazy cases where people start to play with 3 or 4, and then I mean 20 years later you're at the god level, but even if he started like at 16, that's what, like in 2013. I mean, all the tools available, you have the internet, you have any kind of music you want to listen to is available for you. There's books to learn, there's all this stuff that we didn't have, when we started. I mean, I barely had, like a book with chords, and that was hard to get, you know. So it's just so cool to, and I love that there's guitar players out that are like this dedicated today, you know. There's many people, even there's a guy who they call the new Alan Holdsworth, you know, which I've covered in another video that I did for RG. So it's just amazing, and it's great to hear that there's still that there's actually, you know, young people doing amazing things and doing these great compositions. I mean, everything you could hear a little bit of, you know, there was a lot of influences. Very cool, this breakdown that he did. And like when I said like Al Di Meola, it sounded very, and then, but you could hear a little bit of, you know, all of his heroes, and but he has his own language, he has his own style, and his phrasing is off the charts. The tapping, you know, the legato. There's a lot of legato focused players out there, which just sound amazing. So it's a great, you know, to be into guitar and be a guitar player right now. But all these, you know, kids, you know, that are coming out with these amazing recordings. I'm sure this guy is gonna go a lot of places. So I hope you check him out. There's right now it looks like there's this and 2 other songs on Spotify, but on YouTube he's just all over the place. Like you can see him play stuff by Guthrie Govan, by any guitar player that you can think of. He plays like him and makes it even better. It's just insane. Okay, so we're gonna pull up the next video and I'll be right back with you. All right, and here we are with Mike Mangini, and it just says drum solo, and this is I don't know, by the looks of it, a little bit older. I see this blurry, you know, VHS, you know, I guess quality. So it must be like a younger Mike Mangini, but he's now with Dream Theater, has been for the last 10 years. Let's see what he was up to here. Let's go. That's insane. Okay, sorry about that. Let's put this down here. That was insane. No wonder he ended up, you know. I mean, look, he's playing with Steve Vai right there. I recognize the cover. Let's see what year this was. I can just like look up here Steve Vai and see what, because I remember having that CD. I didn't know Mike was on there. Let's see. Oh, this is from, yeah, Ultrazone, 1999. So this was literally, so yeah, it's a long time ago, you know. So he joined Dream Theater about, you know, 12 years after that. So, but I mean, the guy was already, like, it's no wonder that he ended up in Dream Theater. What he was doing right there. I mean, I'm not a drummer, but all the time signatures he was doing, all those fills, all those, what a crazy solo, was just very, very good. Just amazing. And I loved also that he's very kind of like, he has this certain type of humor. He's smiling. He, you know, it's very boring to see someone who's just, you know, very serious. And I don't know, it's just nice to, a little bit of, you know, Steve Vai does that too. When he plays, he does makes all these faces. It's very cool to see expressive musicians, you know. Okay, so now next video we have Tony Royster Jr. Crazy metronome practice with the TD30. All right, so I don't know what a TD30 is, but we will soon find out. So let me just put this, make this bigger, and then here we're gonna pull this up. And here we are. All right, so let's go. Let's see what Tony Royster Jr. does.
I'm about to go and knock on this door right here and see if this lady will come out and count for me. Let's see.
1 and 2.
She's there.
1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
There
And
she
2
is.
and 3 and 4.
All right, so let me get this time together. She's on it. She's ready. She's not playing any games. Okay, so I'm gonna start off in 4/4, right? So, of course, 4/4 is the most basic time signature you can play in. And how many people know, how do you know if you're like directly on the time, if you're with the click? How would you know? That's perfect. Now, there are some drummers who get so good at that they don't know anything else but to play directly on time. And as soon as they like go in front of the beat a little bit or go behind the beat, they feel like they're like extremely rushing or dragging, whatever the case may be. And sometimes that's what the music requires. It's for you to be a little bit more loose with your playing and in front of the beat, if it's funk or, you know, Latin, what have you. So the great thing is to start off playing directly with the click. You know, develop a good inner metronome. Then you begin to play with your time, playing ahead of the beat, behind the beat, like you said, and just flipping it all different type of ways, and still trying to keep the time. Like I said, she's not going anywhere. So if you ever get lost, just stop, and then you start all over again. And then I'm gonna switch the time signature to like 13/16 or something like that. And let's see what happens. If I get lost, don't laugh, okay? We're all here together, okay? Okay, I'm gonna try my best. But it's just a way to show how you can push yourself to get better. Cool? All right, that's what's up.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
That's amazing. Ooh. Wow, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1,
Amazing. So good. Wow. Wow. My Lord. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Jesus. Yeah. What can I say? You know, I mean, this is just mastery, like a master doing his stuff, you know. It's just, but the even like over the counting, the way it sounded so musically, it sounded so musical musically. It sounded that he was playing not just a beat, he was like creating music. That's what's so fascinating about these drummers. And man, wow, like I've never heard this guy before. Tony Royster. Let's look up Tony Royster. I just want to see what band he is from. Oh my Lord. Let's see. Tony Royster. So he's son of a musician, also known as the Prodigy. Yeah. Poof. No. Right. And oh my God, he was born in Germany, in Nuremberg. I guess on some kind of like army base or something. Was raised in Georgia. He's son of Tony Sr. Gail Royster. Let's see. So he's more like a session musician. Let's see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Late Show on the David Letterman. No, he performed the drum solo. Joe Jonas. Okay. Well, I mean, the guy's just, he is amazing. What can you say? He's a master of craft. Amazing. Really, really cool. Thank you again, Eric, for showing me this. This amazing. So he plays pop, gospel, experimental, jazz fusion, hip hop, funk, trip hop, rock. I mean, there's nothing he can't do. I'm sure of that. That was amazing. I mean, amazing. All right, so we have what else do we have here? Our last video is called Aquarian Reflector Series. Get your Eric Moore on, and this is, let's see. Okay, this is Eric Moore. Okay, cool. All right. So, and also I did get some instructions to start the video at 1 minute and 9 seconds. Let me just look for that here. Let's start here. 104, just in case. And let's pull up the video. All right. Let's make it grande. And here we go. So here we are with Eric Moore. Does it say Jimmy Keegan? I'm confused.
Y'all can stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if
That's insane. That is insane. Let's see. Bum 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 bum. So it looks like the Aquarian Reflector series, because I was like, okay, where are they? In a warehouse? Why is there people walking in the background not paying any attention? They must be like very used to this. So this is where they sell drum heads, I guess. And so it's very normal to have like these amazing drummers in that, you know, like what looked like a warehouse. Wow. And it's so crazy. The tune they chose here was more like a hip hop, you know. It's like very simple, you know, but I mean everything he did, everything he laid over that was just insane. That improvisation, you know, that's the beauty of music. You can there's a lot of times when I just take, you know, like a vamp, you know, just one chord, and I just see where I can go, and sometimes the results are amazing what you can do just over one chord, you know. Or I take something like music that I'm not experienced in, like the other day I did like an improvisation over something like, I think, let me see if I still have it open, then I can show you guys. And it was like very, very difficult to just to stay in tune. Let me see, give me 1 second. Let me go on my history here, and just to give you an example, and that's like how I practice, you know. Oh, there's a lot of garbage here. It's incredible when you go on your YouTube history. There's so much nonsense someone watches, so much time wasted. Unfortunately, that's what we do. But just to give you an example here, what I was doing. Come on, is that so long ago? Okay, let's go back 3 days, 4 days. Okay, so this is like the stuff that I was like trying, you know, to improvise over it. And it was, yes, it was working, but not to my, I just have to do this for hundreds of hours, you know, like listen. So yeah, so it's not really like, you know, it's very, very difficult, because I mean we have like F sharp major 7th, sharp 11, then an M, then an F minor 9th, E7, C major 7th, sharp 11. You know, so it's like really like these chords are very, very hard. And I mean there's a kind of like a little guide here what you could put over, you know. You could start with a Lydian scale, major pentatonic, Dorian, minor pentatonic, Aeolian, and then mix a Lydian, major pentatonic, a Lydian scale here, bebop. I mean they give you an example of what would work, which is really cool. This is a guy that kind of pinned this comment from a guy that was just like, oh, I'm checking out your, you know, your backing track. But yeah, so this is the beauty of, you know, YouTube, and of like, we didn't have this, you know, 10 years ago, or maybe, I mean, I don't think so, because I mean 10 years ago YouTube was Well, 10 years ago, yes. But I mean, let's say 15 years ago, you know, there was not a lot of content on YouTube. People couldn't just upload 30-minute videos like I am doing right now. I think 10-minute was the limit, and you had to have certain amount of subscribers. But well, I wanted to add something like I always do. From my little collection, it's going to be Jazz Fusion. It's going to be Greg Howe and Richie Kotzen. So let me just look for a tune. I'll be right. All right, here we are. And this is from the album Project. Now, this is my inception, what got me started. This is the album that made it happen, where I like it was like a switch that was suddenly like turned on when I heard this. I heard this, I think, back in like 2005 or something, and this is when I switched. I had, you know, barely mastered, you know, my scales, and I was like, you know, I was feeling a little bit of, you know, that I was getting better, but I was only playing, you know, the typical, you know, blues scale, and, you know, the, you know, yeah, like the pentatonic scale, the minor, the melodic minor scale, and just stuff, and a lot of licks. And I was very into, you know, metal guitar, and it's basically, it's very, it becomes very kind of like repetitive after a while, because there's only so much that you can play with. And I mean, yes, the major scale, the minor scale, you know, the blues scale, the flamenco scale, but then I heard this album, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, what are they playing? It's like these scales are they're never ending because of the use of legato, and of course, you know, string skipping and all this good stuff. So this is like literally the album that changed my whole perception on music, because first of all, I was like, what are they playing? Like, what is this music? I'd never heard it. So yeah, so this is, and I'm gonna put on a track. So this is Greg Howe, and you're gonna see a lot of similarity with the first two guitar players that we were listening to. So Greg Howe, Richie Kotzen, who I had the pleasure of seeing live with Alexia. So they're playing so left channel here, this is Greg Howe solos. Richie is on this channel on the right. So if you listen to this with headphones, I would highly recommend doing that. Also, Atma Anor is on the drums. He used to play with Jason Becker and stuff like that. So most bass tracks are done by Greg or Richie themselves, which is really cool. And also the keyboards and the drum programming. So, but yeah, this album came out in 1997, and was through Scrapnel Records. Scrapnel Records was very famous for, you know, doing a lot of shred records, you know, like like Tony McAlpine, Racer X, Winnie Moore, Cacophony, Racer X, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker. I mean, it's insane. Michael Lee Firkins, who used to like play for Jason Becker when he got sick, Michelangelo, Badio, like Yngwie Malmsteen. I mean, they're like, you know, they're the ones who, all the shredders, you know, were on this label. So here it goes. This is called, I'm sorry, this is called Groove Epidemic, and this is from the album Project. Here we go. Enjoy. Oh man. How I wish they would get back together and record another album. But I mean, I guess, you know, this music is not for everyone. And I guess they did two. They did Project. First, they did Tilt, which is, oh my God, so good. And then they did Project. And then they never collaborated again. But they do. I mean, they are, of course, friends, and they are equally amazing, you know. I mean, like, I love that they have their own, you know, style. They have their own tone. They don't. They're both amazing fusion players, and the only other project that I can think of is what is it called? The Truth and Shredding. You know, Frank Gambale, Alan Holdsworth, and then the other one, which is Centrifugal Funk, which is amazing. We have Brett Garcett on there, Frank Gambale as well, and also the amazing, what's his name? Oh Lord, I can't remember right now his name, but let me see. The thing about this that is these albums are unfortunately not on Spotify. Let's see. Truth in Shredding. And my Mark Varney project, and their Mike Varney is another. The Mark and Mike are brothers. I thought they were the same guy for the longest time. So I'm talking about Sean Lane, of course, Frank Gambale, Brett Garcett, Sean Lane, and Legato Records, Centrifugal Funk. That is an amazing jazz fusion album, with, you know, they have music from Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Jesse Johnson, insane compositions, also originals, you know, by Frank Gambale and Brett Garcett. But yeah, and this is the first one. The second one was with Alan Holdsworth and Frank Gambale, and it's just off the charts. So this is like the music that I would listen to for the next 10 years. And also the guitar that I kind of like, you know, when I ever had the time to study, I would only study that kind of guitar and classical guitar. But yeah, so that's why I don't know a lot of music that you guys request or that you guys show us, because I was in my, you know, cloud. I was on my way, and I thought pretty much I was very, and I'm very happy where I was, and I still am. This is still the music that I listen to on my free time the most, and Steely Dan, I guess. But yeah, it's instrumental music. That's why I also don't focus that much on lyrics. They're just not that important to me. I know it might be a little bit ignorant, but it's just like music speaks to me way more than lyrics, you know. So I'm always listening to the music, and I'm always checking out chords and stuff, and it's just so interesting, you know, because it's never ending. And lyrics do have kind of like, you know, a start and a finishing line. But well, thank you so much, Eric, for this amazing marathon. Such good musicians here, so much to love here. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.